And I know you had a tough time. You weren't very well, were you?
I had a major stroke about maybe 3 years ago. I've had to fight my way back.
From a dedicated church worker to one of the best singers Britain's Got Talent ever produced, Susan Boyle evolved to become a source of inspiration to many people. She made waves, making it to the top of the charts most times and touching lives with her unique story and how she decided to take necessary steps that brought her to fame. However, beyond the fame, she was going through things that would make her fans scared and others shocked. So, what really happened to Susan? Hang on, as we are about to answer that question. Susan's life before BGT. Susan came into the world as a little surprise. She was the baby of the family, born to a mother who was 45 at the time. She was born on the 1st of April, 1961, and she was the 10th child, following 4 brothers and 5 sisters, and grew up in Blackburn, a small town in West Lothian, Scotland. Her parents both came from Motherwell, although the family tree stretched across the Irish Sea to County Donegal. Her father, Patrick, had worked down in the mines and served in the Second World War, while her mother, Bridget, had worked as a shorthand typist. Growing up wasn't easy for Susan. For most of her life, she believed that a complicated birth had left her briefly without oxygen, which caused a learning disability. Some kids at school were not nice about it, as she had spoken openly about being bullied. It wasn't until 2012 or 2013 that doctors gave her a different answer entirely. She realized she had been misdiagnosed all those long years. She's actually on something called autism spectrum, and her IQ way above average. When she left school, she didn't have a level of qualification to show for it. So she went through government training programs and started doing what she loved, which was singing at local venues around her hometown, years before the world would ever hear her voice. Susan didn't just rely on raw talent, she took time to work at it. She got to train with a popular vocal coach named Fred O'Neill, and even attended the legendary Edinburgh Acting School. And she eventually performed at the Edinburgh Fringe. Music and faith were also deeply intertwined for her. For a couple of years, she joined her parish church on pilgrimages to the Knock Shrine in County Mayo, Ireland, where she would volunteer to sing at the Marian Basilica. Before anyone knew her name, she had been chasing her dream for a long time. Back in 1995, she tried out for Michael Barrymore's show called My Kind of People. Then in 1998, she poured every penny she had into recording a professional demo at Heartbeat Studio in Midlothian. She laid down 3 tracks titled Cry Me a River, Killing Me Softly, and Don't Cry for Me, Argentina. With the copies of that demo, she sent it everywhere she could think of, from record labels to radio competitions, local TV, and national TV. The demo lacked fame for over a decade until her incredible Britain's Got Talent audition changed everything. After that moment went viral, someone dug up those old recordings and uploaded them online, introducing the world to a voice that had been ready all along and just needed an audience. In 1999, Susan contributed a track to a charity CD celebrating the millennium, put together at a local West Lothian school. Only 1,000 copies of music for a millennium celebration, Sounds of West Lothian, were ever pressed. But one reviewer, named Amber McNaught from the West Lothian Herald and Post, couldn't stop listening. She called Susan's version of Cry Me a River heartbreaking and admitted the song had been on repeat since the moment she got the disc. Susan had been winning a couple of local singing competitions for a while, but it was her mother who encouraged her to dream bigger and pushed her to try Britain's Got Talent and sing for more than just the congregation at church. She had actually considered the X Factor at one point, but she walked away from that audition, convinced they cared more about appearance than ability. Even with British Got Talent, she almost talked herself out of it, thinking she was too old to compete. It took the intervention of a former coach to convince her otherwise. From the beginning, she had started facing challenges, but she didn't allow those things weigh her down. When she had a dream, she went for it, and this led her to Britain's Got Talent. Let's go into the full gist of her journey into the world of BGT. Susan's journey through Britain's Got Talent. In August 2008, Susan filled out her application for the third series of Britain's Got Talent as contestant number 43212 and earned her spot after a preliminary audition in Glasgow. When she got to the stage at the Clyde Auditorium, she didn't exactly look like what people expected a star to look like. She told the judges that her dream was to become a professional singer and as successful as Elaine Paige. As predicted, the audience smirked, and the judges exchanged doubtful glances. You could literally feel the skepticism in the room. After a while, she opened her mouth. She sang "I Dreamed a Dream" from Les Miserables, and within seconds, everything shifted. Eyes widened and jaws dropped. The same crowd that had mentally written her off was on its feet. When the episode aired on the 11th of April, 2009, more than 10 million viewers watched it happen. One of the judges, Amanda Holden, put it perfectly, calling it the biggest wake-up call ever, a time that forced everyone to talk about how quick they had been to judge a book by its cover. Susan Boyle hadn't just sung a song, she'd shattered an assumption. The way people responded to her audition humbled her. She couldn't believe everything that happened. Elaine Paige was so impressed that she wanted to team up with her for a duet, and even called her a role model for everyone who has a dream. Interestingly, after her stunning performance, ticket sales for the Vancouver staging of Les Miserables actually shot up. Even Cameron McIntosh, the man behind the whole musical, couldn't stop talking about her performance, and he describes it as heart-touching, thrilling, and uplifting. When it was time for the semifinals, Susan became one of the 40 acts who made it through. She closed out the first semifinal on the 24th of May, 2009, singing "Memory" from Cats. The public went wild. She got a lot of votes and sailed straight into the final. Everyone thought she had it in the bag, but, in a bit of a twist, she came in second behind the dance group Diversity. Still, the finale drew a massive 17.3 million viewers across the UK, a record-breaking audience. Susan's few minutes on Britain's Got Talent were all it took to turn her into an overnight sensation around the world. The 47-year-old Scottish charity worker, who had never sung professionally before, captivated audiences everywhere, from Japan to Denmark to the States, with her jaw-dropping performance of "I Dreamed a Dream." The numbers were staggering. By the next evening, her audition clip had garnered over 26 million views on YouTube alone, with the count skyrocketing from 1 million to 5 million in a single day. That made it the week's most watched video on the entire platform. Add another 2.3 million views on the Britain's Got Talent website, plus the 11 million who caught it on ITV1 and its digital channels, and you've got a genuine viral phenomenon. Twitter practically exploded with praises of Susan and her performance all week long, with people gushing about her in every language imaginable. Even Hollywood's power couple, Ashton Kutcher and Demi Moore, who had a combined following of nearly 2 million people on Twitter at the time, couldn't resist joining the conversation. Ashton shared the clip, writing, "This just made my night," and Demi responded with, "You saw it made me teary." So it looks like the whole world had fallen in love with Susan Boyle. Andrew Linares, the executive producer of Britain's Got Talent, was one of the people who was blown away by what was happening. In his words, "This is completely unprecedented. We have had big responses in the past, but we have never seen anything on this scale before. People love an underdog, and she is the ultimate underdog." When asked about her experience during the auditions, she said matter-of-factly, "I expected people to be a wee bit cynical, but I decided to win them round. That is what you do." They didn't know what to expect. Before Britain's Got Talent, I had never had a proper chance. It's as simple as that. You just have to keep going and take one step at a time. And one day, you will make it. You just don't give up. The closest to this level of fame and performance was Paul Potts, who had become Britain's most successful reality TV star, and his debut album titled One Chance sold over 3 million copies and topped the charts in 15 countries. But here's the thing. It took 5 months for Potts's YouTube performances to reach 13 million views. But as for Susan, she hit that milestone in days. Also, Max Clifford, the legendary PR guru, was stunned. The Paul Potts thing took time. It happened here, and then it spread gradually over a few weeks. This has happened in a few days. That speed in fame was thanks to the evolution of the digital landscape since 2007. YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter had become part of everyday life. And this effortlessly turned memorable moments into global phenomena almost instantly. You know, while technology really led to the popularity of her story, it was Susan herself who made everyone hit like, comment, and share. Here's an everyday woman in her late 40s, someone who typically doesn't fit the Hollywood industry, showing us it's never too late to go after your dreams and actually achieve them. Susan's journey is so touching, especially due to her deep love and dedication to her late mother, her experiences of never having a boyfriend or even a love life, and her unique look all pull at our heartstrings. Then, when she opens her mouth to sing, it's like a whole new world unfolds. It's truly a dream come to life. But let's not forget, there's been some backstage magic at play. Max shares that Simon was singing Susan's praises long before her audition was aired. His support, along with support from others tied to the show, who also had success with an American version, really got people's attention. Max explains, everyone had a heads up. There was no doubt the audience was ready for her. Simon was telling me about Susan weeks ago, insisting I had to check out the first episode. And once I did, it was clear she had all the right elements for something extraordinary. In just a matter of days, as usual, U.S. networks were hungry for interviews, and media outlets from everywhere, like Japan, Denmark, Canada, Australia, were joining the long list. Susan's clip was broadcast on TV stations around the globe, from New Zealand's Close Up to NBC's Today Show, where the host, Kathy Lee Gifford, couldn't hold back her tears. Even the most interesting Washington Post, which was usually focused on political scandals, included her personal story on the front page. Max attributes Susan's charm to her authenticity, emphasizing that you won't see her getting a flashy makeover anytime soon. He said, "All my talks with Simon, who runs the show, have always been focused on letting her just be herself. This isn't about media tricks or trying to create a persona. It's a genuine phenomenon. And that's the beauty of it. If you're wise, you'll appreciate that." It was evident that she had a massive career ahead of her. The sky's the limit. Those internet views could lead to millions in sales. If she drops an album in the next few months, it could easily become a worldwide bestseller. Among her growing fan base is none other than the mind-blowing singer Patti LuPone, who originally performed I Dreamed a Dream. "It brought me to tears. Susan shows so much bravery and spirit," she said to American TV host Diane Sawyer. Just after interviewing Susan live from her living room. After watching her performance with her brother, she stated, "I kept noticing all the mistakes." For now, she's gearing up for her next appearance on the show, where she's already the favorite to win, even before the second round of auditions has done. She came second in the competition, but her influence lasted longer than the winner of Britain's Got Talent. Susan got into fame and never flopped. But something happened to her. Something that got her fans scared and really concerned. Let's answer the question. What really happened to her? Let's get into it quickly. What really happened to Susan? Throughout her interesting journey, the Scottish singing sensation has often been labeled brain-damaged. But in an exclusive chat with the media, the 52-year-old revealed a surprising twist. As stated earlier, she was misdiagnosed after facing complications at birth and actually has Asperger's syndrome, a high-functioning form of autism. After her rise to fame on Britain's Got Talent in 2009, Susan has become one of the best-selling female artists in the UK. She only received her correct diagnosis a year ago, but chose to keep it private until now. According to her, I was told I had brain damage when I was young, and deep down, I always felt that label was unfair. Now, with a clearer understanding of what I'm dealing with, I feel relieved and far more at ease with myself. Susan's remarkable success has opened a lot of doors for her, including a cameo in the holiday film titled The Christmas Candle. There was even a rumor about Fox Searchlight wanting to turn her life story into a movie, with none other than the Oscar winner Meryl Streep lined up for the lead role. But her journey hasn't been without its challenges, as reports of emotional outbursts and unpredictable behavior have found a way to overshadow her achievements. Asperger's syndrome can affect communication skills and social interactions, making it tough to build relationships and understand what's appropriate in different situations. Growing up in Blackburn, West Lothian, Susan faced bullying for being a unique child, earning the nickname Susie Simple. But now, she is empowered with the knowledge to identify that difference and embrace it. I went to see a specialist in Scotland, Susan shares. Nobody prompted me. I just felt something was off. I thought I might have a more serious illness that was keeping me from functioning properly. Asperger's can most times result to anxiety, as everyday situations can feel overwhelming, and Susan was understandably nervous about the consultation. However, she handled a series of simple tests with grace, learning that her intelligence was not hindered by her condition. I was told my IQ is above average. Typical of someone who suffered childhood trauma, the singer has also faced series of mood swings and depression, recognizing her own vulnerabilities and the importance of having a support system. She said, "I'm not strong on my own, but when I have the support of those around me, I'm just fine. I'm lucky to have a great team." Although she built something she calls the posh house with her newfound wealth, Susan chose to return to her late mother Bridget's council house in Blackburn to keep herself grounded. She had a special bond with Bridget, who passed away just before Susan shot to fame. After losing her mother, Susan had to call in social services to help her navigate the grief. She believes that her success from Britain's Got Talent is a tribute to her mother. "I promised her I would make something of my life. Spiritually, she's always with me. I know she's had a word with someone up there. I wouldn't have achieved this without her." Speaking about her journey, Susan acknowledges the fact that her struggles growing up influenced her determination to succeed, but they also left their scars. "You can't go through all that without some resentment," she admits. Susan is clear that her new Asperger's diagnosis doesn't define her or limit her in any way. According to her, "It won't change my life. It's just something I have to manage and work through." However, she hopes it will encourage others to show more understanding and empathy towards her and her experiences. "I believe people will treat me differently now, with a deeper understanding of who I am and why I act the way I do," she adds, stating her wish for greater empathy and compassion from those around her. In 2023, the 62-year-old mezzo-soprano shared an important health update during the live season 16 finale of Britain's Got Talent. Susan took the stage alongside the sensational Lucy Jones from the West End cast of Les Miserables to perform I Dreamed a Dream, the same song that catapulted her from a church volunteer into a popular singer some years ago. After the performance, Susan shared more about her health scare via Facebook, opening up to her fans about what she's been going through. She said, "Tonight, I had the honor of returning to Britain's Got Talent and performing alongside the amazing cast of Les Miserables. This evening was particularly special for me because I had a stroke back in April 2022. For the past year, I've put in so much effort to regain my speech and singing abilities, all with the goal of getting back on stage. I'm thrilled to say that my hard work and determination truly paid off tonight, as I sang the song that started it all, I Dreamed a Dream." What do you think about what really happened to Susan Boyle? Let us know in the comments below. Thanks for watching. To enjoy more exciting videos, click play on the video on your screen. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you get notified when a new video drops.